What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to preview Port Adelaide versus Fremantle. It's round 22 of the 2025 season. We're at the Adelaide Oval this Saturday night for a absolute blockbuster. And by blockbuster, I mean, how much do we lose by this week? In all seriousness, though, I hope everyone stopped crying. It's been a very emotional week. It's been a week where I've consumed the abnormal amount of Travis Boak highlights. Normally I persist with a few hours per week, but this has been a lot more, and yeah, one that I'm very much soaking in, and I think having the opportunity to be able to celebrate Trav with the last 3 games of the year is very, very important, and comes up first week this week against Freo, who are in a position to try and get themselves locked in for a top 8 spot, and they'll be thinking, well, Port Adelaide are easy beats. We've seen them get pumped by the Cats, pumped by the Crows, and there is no chance in hell that that we lose this game. Well, for Port fans in particular, probably feeling it a little bit more because we've been tormented with one of the legends of our football club retiring, and then we've been pumped from week to week for the last few weeks, and the scary nature of our last win is going to be against the the Eagles, which, in all fairness, we should have won by a lot more. So I can see where the mentality of Freo fans would be, but they'd also be pretty scared. And I think, with the way we can handle the last 3 weeks and the way we can, dictate how we play, is let's just go all out attack, stuff it, just throw caution to the wind and just absolutely run amok. Let the shackles off. Forget the defensive pressure. Forget the, whatever you need to do to defend. Throw defense out the window. Let's just go all out attack, because we may as well try something. We've got, our injuries are growing every week, and Jace Burgoyne's another one who's potentially going to miss the remainder of the season. We've got Connor Rozee coming back in this week, which will be a good task. We have injured players on the park, I'm sure, and look, it's one of those things where you sit here and you go, right, well, where can we win this game? And I think for Ken and for Trav in particular, they'll be looking to find a way to win one more game this year. And you look at the run, and you could probably say Carlton is the best opportunity to do so, but it is away at Marvel. You could say that this week against Freo, we have a good opportunity to do so. Freo have not beaten Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval. This is, this would be a first. There's countless of different things going into this game where you say, right, well, you look at the last time we played, and they had superior dominance in the midfield with Sarong and Brayshaw and Bolton, and Tracy dominant up forward, and we look at that and we think, right, well, how can we combat that? And we still have names on the park that can do so. Lear, we do have Brandon Zerk-Thatcher, and there aren't great names. Aliir is probably nowhere near his absolute best with carrying a knee injury. Brandon Zerk-Thatcher hasn't really got going this year, and that's just because of a delayed start. And yeah, look, it's one of those things where you just have to take in what comes, and I just have a sense that there's an opportunity this week. There's just this, we can be pests, Port Adelaide to be the pests. And look, I would love to see us win this week, and particularly of all the announcements and everything. And if there's one big emotional charge that we can have for the remainder of the year, it's to win all the games for Trav. Ken too. I know a lot of people won't be celebrating Ken per se with everything that's going on, but it's still the last 3 weeks, and there's still an opportunity to take what we can. And we might not have any players on the bike, but there's a great opportunity. I think we can really show what we're made of, and hopefully some youngsters can stand up. Saw great signs from Berry last week. I thought, Liddy and Lorenz have been great servants over the past few weeks too in the side. So plenty of opportunity, and while you can, all stocks, go hard at it. It's hard to really preview these games of footy with not much to play for, and you come up against a top 8 side who are looking to just really make a point, and I've said this the last couple of weeks, and we haven't done it for 4 quarters. We've done it for a quarter. The first quarter against the Crows and the first quarter against the Cats were pretty even. In terms of we gave effort, we've given opportunity, and then we've died off. And once we've gotten to a point where we know we can't come back, whether it's 30 points or 35 points. We just take the foot's off the gas and we just let them run over us by 80 points. And it's not healthy. It's not good. It's not a great mentality. And I know that this week could be very much the same. Percentage is everything in Freo's case. Percentage is everything in any case for them. And winning is most important. So I think for us, and Port Adelaide in particular, I think we just have to do what we can to really make sure that we are not giving up. We're giving all the effort, and you just never know what comes when you give full effort for 4 quarters. So we're interested to see. Selection-wise, this week's going to be a tough little thing because Burgoyne goes out, Rosie comes in. No, Soldo got knocked out in the Magpies game, so he won't be playing. And Lukosius may be a good opportunity to come back. So yeah, I think in that case, if Lukosius and Rosie come back in, you'll probably see Whitlock and Jace Burgoyne go out, which not bad changes. You can't make much changes or force changes unless you're in you've got players on the park, and we have hardly anyone. So yeah, that'll be a real strain on us. So I don't think changing too much will happen. I would suggest that maybe you could do Rioli in for McEntee. I think that would be a great little thing as well. Rioli, I think you just know you're going to get a little bit more. I know he's been out of form and I know he's not fit enough, but for the last 3 weeks, put the best possible people you can on the park. Say to them, look, you're playing for something here. You're playing for Ken. You're playing for Boki, and that's the motivation you need. That's enough motivation, I think, to get through to the end of the season. And I'm not trying to shy away from the fact that Ken's last season's been a failure. I'm not trying to shy away from the farewell tour. I know I did the Last Dance as the motivation for this year, and yeah, look, it's a decision I regret, but it's one that you can still try and find something and salvage anything out of this year. And if I remember correctly, we've finished years off pretty well when we have been pretty shit. Throughout the year. 2015 we finished with 4 wins in a row. 2016 we finished with a couple of wins in a row. 2018 I think we died off massively, obviously, but 2019 finished strong. Besides that, lost to the North at Marvel. 2022 we finished with a showdown win and a couple of wins on the board. So to farewell Trav, to farewell his and the idolisation that we've all had as fans, I think it's right that we get through this. And Freo are a good side. They have started slowly though. They started slowly against the Saints, slowly against the Blues last week. And if you can match them and put some pressure on them, they're really vulnerable, I think. And they lost Hayden Young this week as well. So there's every opportunity that we can salvage something. And if it's just an effort thing, if we lose by 3 or 4 goals, then so be it. But I just want to see some effort. I want to cheer something on. I want to feel like there's Port fans want to feel like you're giving their all, right? That's what they want. Port fans want your all. And we know we're not dumb. We're smart enough to suggest that there is no players on the park. Winning is very, very difficult right now for us. So any bit of effort, any opportunity, any chance for a roar, you're going to get some big crowds the last 2 games. I guarantee it. People are not going to be like, well, I can't go to the last games. I want to see this last home game here against Freo. I want to be a part of both. And, that's the play for your fans is the motivation I'm suggesting here. Play for your fans. If you can do that, then you're going to walk away feeling a bit better. And the majority will respect that. So my tip is, I tip Port Adelaide this week. I have a funny feeling. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I'm just like, you know what, big announcement, emotional week. They come out supercharged, and who knows? We'll see what we can salvage though, and we've still got some cavalry on the park, and hopefully Butters responds. Hopefully Rosie comes back in feeling okay, and we'll see what happens. See what we can do. There's still 2 heads on the horse, and they can do anything. And Mitch is down there still. So we'll see what happens. But let me know in the comments below your thoughts, Port fans. It's going to be a very interesting one Saturday night at the Adelaide Oval. Thank you so much for watching, Port fans. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. There's a little bit of time left before now and the end of the season. Massive off-season to come as well. We'll be right into it. But for now, let's just cheer the boys on for the last 3 weeks, and hopefully we can salvage something for Trav. Thank you for watching, everyone. My name's Anthony, and as always, can't the pair.